Hello, 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 and thank you once again for visiting my channel. Today we're going to react on this new balita, no, about Restitution's flood control scandal, brought about by one of our news agencies. So let's go ahead and take a listen to what they have to say.
Taking our call. Welcome to the program.
Yes, good afternoon, Carmina. Thanks for having me back.
All right. So first of all, we just heard from Secretary Ted Erbosa there submitting what he has found out as of late about these super health centers. What do you know about this? What does the ICI? What is the ICI prepared to tell the public about this? Are we looking at the same cast of characters here, Attorney Osaka?
Well, right now it's too early to tell because according to the Secretary of Health, they're still investigating this matter. So what we did was we advised them if they have any support needed, we'll be glad to assist them in any way that we can. But in the meantime, we told them to continue with their investigation, and once they've completed that, then they can report to us anytime their findings.
Is there a concern, Attorney Osaka, that this might just derail the job of the ICI, considering that this is sort of another branch of a possible corruption scandal here? People are looking at you for the developments with regard to the whole corruption scandal involving flood control projects. Attorney Osaka.
Well,
Well,
it won't.
Well, the thing is, no, they've created another department, the ICI, or Commission for Infrastructure, supposedly to investigate the anomalies about, the flood control. But here's the thing. Here's what my take on that. No? Since they created the ICI, what will it do? Di ba? It will only investigate. Investigate, meaning to say they're going to ask questions. Meron nga ba ganito ganyan? O let's go see and find out kung nangyari nga ba to. Meron bang nakurakot, etc. etc. And then what's going to happen after that? Have you guys ever thought of that? Di ba? Okay, supposedly na there's an investigation of, say, sabihin na lang natin na the anomalies, for so we can grasp the no, it's only for 100 pesos. Sabihin natin na 100 pesos lang ang anomalya, no. Okay, so once na inimbestigahan nila yung 100 na yon, what happens? Imbestigahan lang nila, then they file a case. And then it's going to move sa prosecution again to, you know, validate it through due process, meaning to say they're gonna ask the other parties concerned kung nangyari nga ba to, etc., etc. And then what happens? Then they file the case, and then the case will drag on for 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Now, meanwhile, yung 100 pesos na questionable, nagastos na, na-transfer na, wala na nangyari. So, yun ang ibig kong sabihin. That is why, the idea pops in, no? Na if ever na may ganitong problema, na may ganitong katiwalian, Congress must pass a law na if ever there's only a question, a scintilla of question na may katiwalian na nangyayari, they should freeze the account. They should freeze the account of the person, of the family, up to the fourth consanguinity or fourth degree of affinity. Di ba? Para hindi mo transfer na matransfer yung pera. Kasi, the moment na na-transfer yan, hindi mo na alam kung saan yan nahabulin. Where are you gonna go find it? Under a rock? What do you guys think? Di ba? Come, just think about it. Let's go further.
Don't derail us because the executive order creating the ICI specifically mentions, in general, infrastructure projects which are anomalous. But nevertheless, at this time, the ICI has, in a way, zeroed in on particular projects which we consider it low-hanging fruit. So in that way, we want to abide with this methodology so that we can comply with our mandate as fast and as efficient as possible. So we're talking about the 421 ghost projects which we received, or I mean, from the data we
421
received from the DPWH,
ghost
and which we informed the public through the media last Monday. So that's the concentration right now of the ICI. But nevertheless, it doesn't prevent us, once we're fully capacitated, to look into other infrastructure projects and to see if there's any anomalous activity or there was any anomalous projects with regard to other infrastructure.
Developments are happening by the day. Was it just only yesterday, Attorney Osaka, when the ICI called for a meeting between and among all the concerned agencies with regard to going after the money stolen? Was it just yesterday?
Yan na nga,
Yes, that was
sinasabi ko
yesterday.
All right.
The ICI the ICI called on several, in fact, I think around 16 government agencies for an asset recovery meeting. The purpose of which is for us to be able to share information, share data, at the same time find out which agency is supposed to do a particular activity to recover assets. So we had the likes of the Philippine Competition Commission, the Bureau of Customs, the BIR, the SEC. Why? Because this is another thing that we're trying to do. As our chairman mentioned yesterday, it's not enough that we put people to jail. We have to recover this ill-gotten, the unlawfully gotten gotten money from the coffers of the people. So
I agree. Don't you guys agree that we should recover? Di ba? This is our money that they're spending. They're spending to buy Bentleys, to buy luxury cars, to buy all of this stuff to get themselves wealthy. I mean, I'm so sure it's not mali to become wealthy, no? I mean, almost everyone aspires to get that, but do it the right way.
that's one of the activities, or one of the goals of the ICI, because for us it might just be a shorter goal for us, meaning that the time frame would be shorter because of the mandate or the charter of these government agencies, allowing them to either forfeit or freeze the assets of those involved in these infrastructure projects, anomalous infrastructure projects. So
That's the thing, the moment na magkaroon pa lang ng hinala na there's already an anomaly, they should freeze the assets or freeze the banks of the people concerned. And why talk about restitution? Restitution talks about, only reimbursement to government, reimbursement to our coffers. We should not allow just restitution. We must demand forfeiture of the assets ng mga tao na kumuha ng pera natin. 'Di ba? I mean, what are you gonna do? What's the justice there? 'Di ba? Sabihin na natin now 100 pesos yung kinuha nila and things like that. Is it okay na yung 100 na yon ibibigay lang sa atin? What happens yung kinita ng 100 na yon? What happens yung kinita ng 100 na yon? Doesn't that belong to the people also? Now multiply that in the millions, multiply that in the billions, multiply that in trillions. We're talking about a large amount of money. And who cares if it's gonna be their property? They knew na what they're doing is wrong. They knew na yung fruits ng kanilang ginagawa came from something that is wrong. Fraudulent. Sinong may kasalanan? Tayo? Tayo na nagbabayad ng taxes? I don't think so. It's their fault. And therefore, their properties and the properties of those that's close to them should be forfeited in favor of the government. That's the only right thing to do. And then, they should also answer for their, crimes. That's the jail sentence and things like that. Let's go on ahead.
We're looking at this because it's a faster remedy for us. Aside, of course, for us filing our recommendations to the Ombudsman.
But Attorney Hosaka, do you even know how much you're going to try and recover? Do you have a running total?
Well, right now, that matter is a moving target for us. We would have to rely on the expertise or the authority of other government agencies to be able to do this. First of all, we have to identify which individuals are supposed to be most probable or most would be responsible for these projects, and we start from there. And then these government agencies would have to, for example, in the AMLC, they're the ones who would have to apply for the freezing of assets, the preservation of.
You see, madaming pinagdadaan to mga freezing asset came from there, then they're gonna recommend it from another department, and then the other department has to do this, has to do that, etc. While the assets are being moved, the assets of these people are being moved into other safer accounts. Diba? Which is completely wrong. Then they have to figure out how much kung ano yung nakuha, kung ano yung nadali sa gobyerno. To make it simple, why not forfeit lang yung property? Lahat ng assets ng mga taong gumawa ng ganyan, ng mga tao na gumawa ng katiwalian. We should go get the property itself. Even if it came from long time ago. They knew they did the offense. Why did they have to do it? If they have to do it, then they have to pay for it. And the only way that could affect them is if we take all the properties that are theirs. Leave them destitute. Why not? They wouldn't be destitute if they did the right thing. Diba? But since they didn't do it, it's their fault. Diba? Now, in the long run, if it was proven that this part of the property actually belongs to them, that what's taken was rightfully theirs, then government can give it back. Di ba? That's the thing about, but the thing is kasi, hindi mo na move yung property. Hindi mo na move yung pera. Hindi yun na madideposit yan sa ibang accounts na safe accounts. So Congress should pass that. All those people that all those departments that they're creating, they should have the teeth to implement it, to pass the moment that there's a scintilla of na may katiwalian, they freeze the assets right there and then ask later kung ganito nga ba to. And that's another thing. If you freeze it right there and there, na madali, if it was proven na the property is theirs, they should be na ibalik sa kanila yon right there and then. Di ba? Otherwise, nasa mali naman ng government. Kasi mabilis mo kinuha. So, dapat mabilis mo rin ibalik. Hindi yung cheche-bureche na ang daming magiging red tape. What is identified na kanilang property na was earned from legitimate business, government should bring and should give it back right there and then. No questions asked. Once it is proven that that was properties that was earned the right way. Di ba? Let's go ahead and take a listen.
Of assets. Now, as far as the Bureau of Customs is concerned, they're the ones investigating, seizing, and eventually auctioning off luxury cars. And as far as the BIR is concerned, they're looking into possible tax evasion cases. So as far as the running total is concerned, right now, I cannot answer you that because, as I said, it's a moving target.
Let's talk about the AMLC. You mentioned them just a few seconds ago. We had them on the program. How would you assess the performance so far in terms of, issuing freeze orders on some of these accounts involved in the flood control mess? Because the public has this idea, this impression that they're moving just too slow, and some of these monies may have already been spirited off. Go ahead.
Yan na nga ba sinasabi ko eh.
Well, I think as far as the AMLC is concerned, they have procedures, rules, and regulations to follow. But I was told yesterday, and I don't know, that as of yesterday, there was about 5 billion pesos worth of assets which they have frozen. The same time, comprising of around 2,800 accounts. So, considering that amount in this short period of time, I would say it's pretty substantial.
But how do we even take your word for it?
Substantial is not enough. That means na okay lang na ganito lang yung makukuha natin. No, it's not enough. We should be able to recover everything that was taken from us illegally, even if it eats through the right property of the person. We have to recover our hard-earned taxpayers' money.
Attorney Hosaka, I'm sure you know the calls of the people, the appeal coming from the people. You can address the public, you can go on in these interviews and answer questions from journalists, but the day-to-day transparency that people want to happen from the ICI, is that really not going to happen anymore, and we really just have to take your word for it?
Well, I mentioned before the reason why the hearings of the ICI is not live streamed or not open to the public, because we're an investigating agency. We're a fact-finding body. as much as possible, we do want to verify and make sure that any information, testimonies that come to us are verified. We cannot rely just on a single testimony. We have to test that. We have to verify that. So we're balancing the rights of individuals. Individuals who might be dragged into this innocent individuals. I'm not saying there are, but they might be. So we're balancing this. We want to, in a way, show the people what we're trying to do through regular briefings, interviews like what I'm doing right now. At the same time, we inform them. We inform them of what we do day to day. And as much as possible, if there's no sensitive information that would have to be discussed, we allow media to cover it. Like yesterday, before the start of the discussion among the agencies, we allowed the media to cover the statement of the chairman, and we show them, and we brief them regularly of what's been happening, and if possible, also we give them a summary of what has been discussed during hearings.
Attorney
And
Yusuf.
of course, as I said,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Go ahead. You were saying.
As I said, the practice would be upon our recommendation to the ombudsman, we will show our findings, our recommendation with full records to the public, like what we did last time, wherein after we filed our initial recommendation to the ombudsman, we immediately provided a copy to the media, and this is open to everyone.
Can you explain to us one thing? Because for the most part, until yesterday, I believe, you have been inviting resource persons to talk about the budget process. Why did the ICI need to go through that extent? I mean, you have a former secretary, a former member of the cabinet there, who knows about this process. Why was there a need to call all these resource persons just to testify about the budget process?
Well, that's very, very crucial because in our mandate, it says that the ICI should investigate not the funding, the planning, the funding, and the execution of these projects. So the funding part is there. So it's important for us to know what happened during the budget process. I know that Secretary Babe Singson was formerly a secretary at the DPWH, but at that time, that was way back in 2012, 2010 to 2016, I believe. So, years have passed then. We don't know if the budget process has changed then. So, the commission wanted to know how it happened, how they crafted the budget for the country. So, it starts from there. That's why they were inviting resource persons to explain to the commission how they came up, how the budget is done.
And what are the facts that you've uncovered by talking to these resource people?
Right now, they're still piecing the puzzle, so I cannot divulge that as of this time.
Well, there you go. Like I said, again and again and again and again. First and foremost, thyself be true. And if this is going to be our truth, then we must let government know that they should pass a law that would give teeth to investigating bodies, not just only to investigate and recommend, but right there and then prosecute. Diba? And for the prosecution and for the government and Department of Justice and the justice system itself, no, to make it so na walang masyadong postponement, walang delays na mangyayari. Kasi it's always going to be, delay, and it's gonna take years for us to recover. And once, say, the RTC found you out to be guilty, then the forfeiture must occur. Hindi yung, oh, wait a minute, sandali lang, mag-a-appeal ako. I-appeal ko muna to sa Court of Appeals. Go ahead, appeal in the Court of Appeals and whatever they decide, if you're guilty or not. But the thing is, the property and your bank accounts are forfeited in the meantime in favor of the government. Once it was appealed, and if say the Court of Appeals say na okay, hindi guilty tong taong to, then the government should give it back if they're that guilty. But if they're proven guilty by the Court of Appeals, then the more that we have to retain yung properties na yun and yung mga accounts in forfeiture. Hindi mo na sila papayagang umakyat pa sa Supreme Court. Di ba? So once ganun din. Once it goes to Supreme Court, then if they were found na not guilty, balik yung property nila. But the thing is, it should be right there and then. The moment na we believe that there is, even na question, konting question lang na ganito na nangyayari, then we should forfeit their properties and their bank accounts should be frozen. Well, anyway, that's my opinion. So, if you kind of like this channel, then please, like, share, and subscribe, and comment kung ano nga ba. Diba? Otherwise, kung hindi tayo magsasalita, kawawa ang Pilipinas. Thank you very much for visiting my channel.